Hello and welcome to the first episode of what I like to call the Joys of Songwriting. It's where we're going to break down different aspects of songwriting, how we think about it, how we do it, how we deal with it. And rather than making it be like this is how I made this song, I figured we'll use that song as like a framework, as a leaping point to discuss some things. And I got some clips to show you. I got some ideas to share. I'm ready. I'm excited for this. I hope you're excited for this. Let's go.
I won't give up on us.
Wonderful start. Wonderful start. I've got my notes here to keep me on track. Let's go. One of the first things that people usually ask when they talk about songwriting or they're interviewing someone or whatever is like, where did you get your inspiration from? And the answer is usually something really vague, like everywhere, which is true. I find it to be true anyway. But using this song specifically, what I thought would be cool to talk about is one of the key elements and one of the key things that kind of got the song going is a rhythmic idea called a shuffle. The groove, and it's in the drums and it's in the guitar for pretty much and the bass pretty much the whole time. Cha 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 cha. Now, I've been obsessed with the shuffle for years, partly because it's something that's so easily shit, and it's something that when it's done right, it's like incredible. It's one of those things that makes you just be like, whoa, when someone plays a shuffle right. I'm not saying that I did, but when someone does it right, I'm like, man. Here's a little clip of me trying to learn the shuffle. This is from like 2 years ago. I'm not lying when I say I've been obsessed with this for a while. That is what I would call a not very good shuffle. But it's one of those things that, like, usually when it's played by someone that can't play it, like myself, it's very vanilla. It's very like, but what I was trying to get, and what I wanted to get, and what got me excited about this song specifically was the idea of having a really smooth, like a triplet shuffle, and then have that kind of going throughout the whole piece, that driving thing. That is not it. So, but it's not like I sat down to be like, okay, I'm going to write a song that has a shuffle. That's not what happened at all. For me, I find the best songs come when you're just dicking around, when you're just hanging out, playing something absent-mindedly, whatever. Maybe having a practice session and then something comes out. But that idea of the shuffle has been in the back of my head for years, since my jazz school days, where like big band shuffles are like sick. Real sick. There's some great examples of that. Not big band, but like Rosanna, Toto, that's a great one. The Purdy Shuffle, that's another great one. Steve Gadd does some killer shuffle. Like, anyone that can actually play the drums well, listen to their shuffles and you'll be like, holy shit, that's amazing. So this song came about while I was just like lying down, playing my acoustic guitar, not trying to write a song, but just messing around. And then I came up with that little riff. Oftentimes, songs will come and the music and lyrics come together and you've kind of got like a full song in your head. Or sometimes the lyrics will come first and then that's like a heavy lyric-based song, like there's something that you want to say. This one, the music was very much first, and that was the whole thing that kind of drove it. I've got a little clip of the first recording I made of this after sitting around for a few hours and just kind of like messing around, finding the chord progressions. I keep doing this because the chords with my hands. And I'd come up with the lyrics, and I made a little video of it. Trigger warning, I'm not wearing a shirt in this video, but this is the first iteration of this song. For those of you that have been watching me for a while, you're used to that. Shirts off, it's commonplace. But for everyone else, I apologize, but also you're welcome. Here's a clip of the very first time I played this song.
So I won't give up on us, because I won't give up on love. I won't give up on us, because I won't give up on love.
So the lyrics, while they're real, this was new to me. This was pretty interesting for me. While they're real and based on experiences and stuff, it's not specifically about any one person. Usually when I write a song, lyrically, I try to make it as like real and, meaningful as possible. Where this is, it's kind of more almost like a character, or more set of ideas that I have experienced, but yeah, the song's not about a person or about a specific moment in time, which was pretty fun for me because I also love theater and musical theater, and I listen to a lot of that, and I try to write some. So the idea, this was kind of the first time for me that the idea was like, hey, I can kind of write something that's not 100% not truthful, but kind of not truthful. Like, you can write from the perspective of someone else. You can write about the idea of something else. And then since then, it's kind of opened things up for me a bit. I always do like to have some form of authenticity behind what I'm writing, but that can come through emotions and experiences. It doesn't need to be directly saying something like a real person that you know or something like that. So that was fun. That was a fun little thing for me. And then once I'd made that video that I just played you, pretty much the music was there. Pretty much the lyrics were there. I think I had all of the lyrics, just the verse and the chorus. And then that was that. I just kind of left it for a while until I had a gig coming up, like a few weeks later. It was this big festival gig, and I really wanted to do an awesome job, and I had to get a band together. I have people that I play with from time to time, but usually someone can't make it, so you mix and match. So I was like, let's do the song. Let's do the song, which meant I had to like flesh it out a little bit. So this was kind of phase 2 of the song. And I made a demo for it. And then I also made some charts for it. So here's a little clip of us playing that. The funny thing about this version is that it didn't really have an ending. Like, the song was finished, but also not really. Like, I knew that it had somewhere else to go. So all I did at this point was make a key change instead of like the outro bit in the song. It just did the chorus, and then it had a little breakdown with claps. And then it went up a key. And then that was kind of it. I can't remember how we finished it. Probably just like a 1, 2, 3, bah! Lazy songwriting. But with that, and this is another part of the process, for me anyway, I call like the development. So we've kind of covered the inspiration, and then we've got the development. And that involves making a demo version, like on Logic or whatever. So like a rough arrangement, just so I could give the band something so they could hear it and be like, oh, okay, this is what he's going for. This is what we're going to try to do. I made a chart as well, or my friend made a chart because it takes me fucking ages. But here is a demo version that I made.
People always try to tell you something, but I still don't know what to do. Every time I see your picture, I just want to keep staring at you.
So if you compare that to the one that's released, it's a bit slower, a little bit dirtier, a little bit grungier. And obviously none of the instruments are real. that's all just MIDI. And I like that version, but again, the song wasn't finished yet. It didn't end in any real way. It just had the key change, and it was kind of weird. So I left it for ages. This is like 2 years ago, year and a half ago. Left it for ages, and then didn't forget about it, but didn't really do anything with it until one day I was messing around on my piano. So for me, I find that when I'm writing a song or messing around with a song, the instrument that I'm using has a massive change on what I'm able to create in the way that I think about things. I think part of the reason is because when it comes to piano, I have a bit of piano knowledge. Like, I did lessons, I know the notes, I know the theory behind things. But the guitar, not really. Like, I more or less taught myself guitar. I don't really know what the notes are. Like, if I pick a note on a guitar, I can't really tell you what that is. I can guess, I can get a roundabout, and I can work it out, but it's not second nature, whereas the piano kind of is. So, in a way, I think the guitar, when I'm playing around with that, it's maybe more intuitive, or I'm more likely to surprise myself and be like, I don't know what that is, but it sounds cool. Whereas when I'm on the piano, it's easier for me to like think about things and be like, okay, maybe this chord will work. So anyway, I was playing around on the piano with the song. There's that vanilla shuffle. I think I was just singing along with it. I was like, where can this go, you know? And then I came up with this bit. Yeah. Which is the outro and the whole like kind of last chorus. And just because I'm really familiar with that sort of movement on the piano, like, I play it all the time in different keys, whatever. So that kind of shape and movement is something that I'm used to, and I was like, I wonder if that'll work here. And then it did. And I was like, great. So remember, this is about a year and a half later. I was like, this song, I think I've finished it. I think I've got a little clip of that. If I have a little clip of that, I'll play that now from like a sound recording that I did while I was figuring it out. 3, 4, and then just crescendo, and the people always try something. Or maybe like 3, 4, 1. And that was pretty much it for the song part, as in the chords, the melody, and the lyrics. That was like, I was like, cool, this is done. Then we came into the actual recording, arrangement, what instruments to use, that kind of stuff. So let's do that. Let's get into that. Let's go into my studio, shall we? Come on. Come on. Yeah? Shit. Here we go, look at that. That's the voice we're recording right now. Let me set this up properly, and then I'll see you soon. All right, this actually took me ages to figure out. I've got this on the screen, so you can see what I do. And then I've got this over here. Man, this took me literally hours to figure out. But I've done it once, and now I can do it more. Okay, so welcome to my second home. It's actually in my home, but this is where I spend a ridiculous amount of time. And this is where I like to make demos, which is what I played you earlier, but it's also recently where I've begun to like create full songs using almost all fake instruments, which I'll explain soon if you're unaware of that. Now, obviously, I would love to use real instruments all the time, record in a real studio, have real musicians. Mate, that would be the absolute dream. but it's expensive as hell, man. And to create consistently, which is what I'm trying to do, if I wanted to release a song every 4 weeks by doing it in a studio, thousands of dollars each time, not including mixing and mastering, who's got that kind of money? So I've learned how to do it myself, and it's pretty good. It's pretty great. I actually really get incredibly excited about all of this stuff. This is awesome. It's like, this is kind of stuff that I try to show my girlfriend all the time, and she's lovely, and she's like, oh, wow, that's great, but come on. Like, there's only so many times I can be like, listen to this drum sample, before she's like, okay. Anyway, let's go into the computer, and I'll show you some of the stuff that I used for this song, and then some thoughts around it. Look, here we are. Okay, hi. So what you're looking at now is my screen, my DAW, digital audio workstation. This particular one is called Luna by Universal Audio. I used to use Logic, which was super popular, and I've used it my whole life. Well, not my whole life, but pretty much for the past 10 years or whatever. And then I changed recently during this song, actually. I don't know where to look. Am I looking here? Am I looking here? I'll continue to look here. I changed for this song because they've got their features are like exactly what I want for the sound. One thing I do want to say before we go into all this stuff, often if you're watching things that go into like plugins and music making and software and mixing and stuff, they're always like, you got to do this thing because it's the best thing. You got to have this plugin because it's the best. You got to do this technique because it's the best. It'll make everything sound amazing. That doesn't exist. As far as I'm concerned, that does not exist. Best is so subjective. What's best is what is best for the situation. What sounds best to you. What brings out something in you. So there's very rarely one size fits all for anything. So just think of that before you go out and buy heaps of stuff, which is what I should have told myself every single time I buy stuff. And you'll probably see that I have a lot of stuff. Anyway, back here. Hi. Okay, so as I said, the bass of the song is that groove, that shaka-da-da-da-da-da-da-da kind of triplet feel. So a big part of that is the bass. And here, I'll show you which bass that I use. So this one is called Trillian, and by Spexatronics, I think is how you say it. And it's incredible. Here, I'll play you some. So part of the reason I love this one is because all of this extra articulation that it has. So down the bottom, you have these keys which do stuff like that. Bass sounds. Which, if you're unfamiliar with something like this, not many of them have that. What I'm trying to find when I find a VST, which is what this is, virtual software instrument, which I don't know whether, I was thinking about this before, I don't know where the I comes from. Virtual software instrument, VST. Anyway, it's basically sampled instruments that you can play on your MIDI keyboard. And these guys do it incredibly well. They sample things really like to detail, but the vibe is there. And that's what I love the most. If the vibe is there, I'm like, man, that's so good. The other reason I love this is because it gives you, this one's called true staccato. So I can play the same note in different octaves, which is really important for this particular. Because you'll notice if I play that with one key, first of all, it's harder to get the groove, but it sounds a bit shitter. The other reason I love this, man, I'm just fanboying over this, is because of the different velocities. You can really make it slap. Velocity is how hard you hit it. So if I smack it real hard, I love it. let's go back in here. I'll show you. Okay, so what I did in this, because I knew it was important, I'll record some of it. Let me get rid of this, and then we'll build it up. We'll build it up slowly. That's what we're gonna do. Start here, record, and I'll try to play the part. Oh, no, we need that click. We'll keep that going. Here we go. All right, now you can see here, that is exactly what I just recorded. Play that back. Oh, it starts from here, so. I'm still getting used to this door, but I love it. Yes. So it's like, how do I loop this? Here we go. It's real messy, and I probably will quantize it a little bit, which is what quantizing is, where you fix the timing of it, and you can do that all on here really easily. But one thing I don't like doing is quantizing that, making it completely correct, because that sucks the juice out of anything. So often what I'll do is like quantize the shit out of it and then be like, wait a minute, why does it sound crap? And then I'll pull it back or get rid of it completely, especially when I'm layering a lot of instruments that I want to sound real. Because if they're all completely robotic, it ends up sounding real shit and just lifeless. So that's the bass. There's more to it than that. And later on, maybe I could show you. Oh, man, I got so many basses. Oh, the upright bass is... Oh, it's the stuff dreams are made of. But for now, we'll move on to the drums, which is the next most important part. Or maybe the first most important part. I don't know. The drums that I use for this particular song, they're old, man. I've bought so many drum plugins over the years. And this one is one of the first ones I ever had back before I paid for stuff. I had it, I pirated one years and years ago. And look at how crap this looks. But it's just the best sound. I found it from a Snarky Puppy producer video. The guy was going through a remix that he did, and he used this, and I was like, oh man, it does sound good. I tweak it a little bit, but it's pretty much just a stock funk sound. So I'll show you what that sounds like. I'll play some things. Part of the reason I love this, again, is because of the articulation behind it. There's so much random noises that you can get that aren't in normal ones. Like this. That's like hitting the rim of a tom. Lightly hitting. These are cool. That's the snare off. That's like a little roll. Hitting the thing. That's the side stick on the snare. I don't even know what that is. But those are invaluable, man, when you're trying to make something sound real. Because you can't... Here's the snare. 3 different hits. I think it's the rim job? What do you call it? Rim shot. Thank you. And then that's another hit. And then you try to get them to roll. It's okay. That's a real roll. I probably can't do it now, but like... There, let's do it, yeah. Okay, that wasn't very good. But you get the idea. And what that does is just creates more realism throughout the performance. and it means that like you can go in and play with anything and make it just sound more real. Because drums, especially the stuff that I listen to and the stuff that I love, is not perfect. And if it was perfect, it would kind of suck. Like, it's close because the people who are playing are like motherfuckers for sure, but it hasn't really been messed with that much. So you hear things like you don't hit the drum properly or whatever, and you can recreate that here. So let's try to do this groove, which let's see how that goes. Let's just see how that goes. Okay, let me have a little practice. All right, that'll do. We'll record that one. Here we go. That's all right, except for that hit back in, it sounds okay. It sounds okay. We're going to leave that there for now. This isn't about being perfect. I just want to show you kind of the stuff that I like to do. And I will play with this for hours. Like, this is one of the bits that I enjoy the most. I actually enjoy almost all of it the most, in its own way. But this is the most playful, trying things that work, trying out different sounds, trying out different grooves, finessing things to the point where they sound like how you want them to sound, or at least as close as you can get. Now, part of the reason I'm not going to like fix it yet is because I'm going to be adding more instruments. And you'll hear, maybe I'll try that. Maybe I'll do this later. If you're interested, we can do a whole thing on this later. But you'll hear how it just sounds a bit more real. Okay, piano. Piano is another one. Man, there's so many piano VSTs out there, and almost all of them suck. Keyscape, which is the same company that do the bass that I use, Spexotronics, they're the closest ones that I usually go back to. And it's because of the vibe, man. They might not sound the most pristine or whatever, but it's just the vibe. That was a bad example of vibe, but but when you play it, it feels like you're playing a piano. You usually have to tweak it a bit. I haven't tweaked this at all, but it feels like you're playing a real instrument, and that's invaluable. That's so much better and more important to me than having something that like sounds real, like crisp or whatever. Okay, so here we are. So this is the piano LA custom. I don't know if I use this or not. Piano wasn't actually a big part of this tune, but I'll just play. I'll play along with it so you can kind of. How's this go? Yeah, that's it. All right, let's record that so we can hear how that sounds. Not bad. Weird. Let's dim it down a little bit. All right, so you're getting the vague gist of things now. I'll show you one more extra fun thing, which is just a patch that I love. I love a Rhodes. I used to have one in my old studio. Oh man, it wasn't mine. I was borrowing it from my friend. But it just sounded so good, and I miss it. But this does a really good job. Arrangement is so important. And arrangement and quality, not quality, but sound choices for mixing later, especially. Like, dude, I don't know, mixing maybe we'll talk about very briefly. But arrangement, a song can sound done and good within reason just by picking good instruments that fit into the whole piece, you know, and also what they're playing. So, like, for example, in the track, I've got a piano and a Rhodes almost playing the same thing the whole time, except the piano is way more percussive. That's doing like where the Rhodes is going more like, so it acts as like a bed underneath it. I'll play you what I mean. That's too loud. Gonna get it? Sound a little bit shit, but you get the idea. So choosing that, I choose something that is often in a different register. So the piano's down here. And it does change, but it's nice to either have it going like real, helping out the bass a little bit, and it does that sometimes in the song, but then other times it's just a little bit of jangly Christmas vibes. Anyway, that's a fun idea. What else can I show you about this? Talk to you about this. I remembered the other thing that I wanted to share, and that's the horns, the saxes and the trumpets. Oh man, it's my favorite thing ever. It's so one of the challenges with this song was that because that groove is the same the whole time, and because the chords don't really change until the end, you got to find ways of making it interesting. And there's nothing more interesting than a wicked sax solo, I think. I got my friend Oscar to do it. He's ridiculous. He's one of the best musicians I know. He plays everything: trumpet, sax, bassoon, classical bassoon, and he's a lovely guy. Yeah, baby. So I sent it to him. I made these shitty MIDI horns, VST horns. They suck, by the way. I've never found any good MIDI horns yet. I'm excited for the day that it happens, but I'm yet to find it. Sent it to him, and he came back with these things, and the direction was very vague. Like, I gave him a chart with chords and stuff, and I was like, we want to go for like a Bruce Springsteen dirty sax solo. And he was like, I gotcha. And then he sent me 5 variations of it. I'm not going to play you all of them, but I'll play you some of them. Let's go back to the computer. All right, so you'll notice we're in Logic now, because I started this project in Logic, and he uses Logic, so I could just send him the track, and then he sent it back, and that was awesome. So this is the this is a real crap demo version of the song that I sent him, which sounds a bit like this.
Don't give up on love.
Listen to that vocal take, wonderful. And then so he sent me the horn bits. Sorry, I lost you there. Would sound like this. And that was all layered and stuff, so he sent me heaps of tracks. And then we get to the solo, which is just the best. All right, I'll play a part of them. And this guy's so cool. He sent me different options with different names. So that one was option 1, which I think was just the main one. This one's called Smooth. That's so good. I should have used that. Why didn't I use that one? It's different. It's different vibes. That one pulls you back a little bit. I wanted us to like move forward. But man, that's some creamy jeans kind of sax solo. This one's called Crazy. We'll just play the first bit of this. Dude, come on. Just silly stuff. I kicked the tripod. Man, yeah, okay, I love that. Let's go back to the first starting point and let's finish this bad boy off. What a day. What a day. What a time. That was real fun. I went completely off my notes and I have no idea how long this is. Probably way too long. But thank you for watching it. Thank you for being here with me. I genuinely love doing that. That was great. Let me know in the comments if there's anything you want me to like focus on next time. What I think I'm going to do is just for every song that I release, I'll do something like this and then find bits which I think are interesting to talk about and share maybe. But also, you know, again, if you have any thoughts, questions, ideas, I would love to get other people on here too. If anyone else, you know, is making songs and doing that, we could chat about stuff. Yeah, possibilities are endless, man. Wonderful. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Stream the song, please. I would love that. Gonna get that Spotify money, baby. Great. Goodbye.